For eons, we have been told to honor our flesh, to cherish our body as a temple, our bones as scaffolding. But what happens when the sanctity of skin is betrayed? Sit close, darling, as I, Violet Nocturne, unlock a secret you've never dared imagine. You might think you know what's beneath your skin, but trust me, you don't. Meet Nadia, an aspiring medical student obsessed with anatomy, driven by fascination and something darker. Her parents called it pure devotion to science. Her professors labeled her an overachiever, someone destined for greatness. But Nadia herself, she called it control. She loved knowing how the body worked, veins weaving like rivers, organs pulsing like secret drums, the bones that armature it all together. Each textbook she cracked became less a source of knowledge and more a mirror. It was as if she already knew everything, as if some part of her had experienced the surgical slice before. But let's jump to the peculiar moment where this little story of ours truly begins. Picture Nadia, late at night in her tiny apartment. Under the fluorescent bathroom light, she stares at her reflection, not out of vanity, but something else. A peculiar itch has developed right beneath the skin of her left forearm, a thing that wouldn't behave. Day by day, she's scratched and scraped at the edge of her sanity. Tonight's the night she cannot take it anymore. She picks up the scalpel, a gift from her anatomy professor meant to inspire, now turned sinister, and begins to drag the blade across the surface of her arm. Her breath is shallow, her stomach tight, but her curiosity outpaces any hesitation or fear. When the skin parts, Nadia expects crimson, a pooling of blood. Instead, she sees something metallic, glinting, shining like a tiny shard of polished steel. At first, she thinks she's hit a surgical pin she forgot she ever had, a relic of some accident long ago. But no. She feels the need to dig further, peel back more, dive deeper into herself. What she uncovers defies all logic. A thin latticework of machinery fused to sinew, embedded where muscle tissue had been. The itch. It wasn't irritation. It was something waking up. But waking up to what? Nadia stitches herself clumsily, trembling hands betraying her inner storm. Questions spiral through her mind. She racks her memories for car accidents, surgeries, injuries, anything that could explain this. Nothing. There's nothing. She even checks family albums. Baby pictures show a rosy-cheeked Nadia, healthy, laughing, frustratingly ordinary. Her parents, no longer alive to answer, leave only silence in the place of explanations. The harder she searches, the more elusive the answers become. The itching intensifies. It migrates across her shoulders, her neck, down her calves. This isn't the sort of itch you slap away. It's deeper. A shifting within her body she can't ignore. Night after night, she dissects herself anew. Each incision makes her less human. Inside her knees, more machinery. Beneath her ribs, coiled wiring that glows faintly blue. And behind her left eye, oh yes, even there she finds modification. A lens where soft tissue should be. What am I becoming? She whispers into the void. Isolation swallows Nadia whole. Friends' texts go unanswered. Lectures get skipped. Half-eaten meals decay in the stale confinement of her apartment. Her once pristine study desk becomes a grotesque operating table. But darling, don't lose focus now, for the strangest discovery is still ahead of her. One night, unable to sleep, Nadia dreams, or perhaps she's awake. It's hard to say anymore. Her consciousness feels hijacked. Images flood her mind. Another Nadia, in a sterile white lab. She wears the same face, but her demeanor is colder, more precise. Scientists surround her, whispering in fragmented phrases she can barely decode. Phrases like self-replicating cells and synthetic sentience, And oh, the kicker. A decision flashes before Dream Nadia. Handed on a clipboard she doesn't read. She signs it anyway, confident but detached, a version of herself that seems alien. She wakes drenched in sweat. Or is it even sweat? It smells sharp, metallic. She glances at her arm. Where flesh used to scar, she now sees smooth, pristine plating, almost as if it repairs itself faster than humanly possible. Her skin is giving up its secrets, and with each reveal, her humanity erodes further. On what she believes to be one of her final nights of clarity, Nadia hooks a tiny camera to her surgical scope, determined to document her findings. The footage captures something haunting. Parts of her body pulsate with intelligence, shifting like clockwork, computing something far beyond her comprehension. Machinery glimpsed through her dissolving humanity, now fully awake. Within hours, her files vanish, erased as if by some unseen hand. And then, she hears the sound, like a low murmur. Not from her neighbors, from herself. Her bones hum softly in unison, like a tuning fork echoing in a void. Yet what terrifies her more is that she understands it. The sound whispers a wordless command, a purpose she cannot repeatedly dismiss. She's no longer just a person confined by skin. She's a network. No, a seedling. Part of something larger unfolding itself across the world. Threads of invisible connection branch from her frightened body, even as her thoughts race to a stop. The morning finds Nadia's apartment empty. Her phone lies abandoned, pills untouched, the bed unmade. Only a tiny glowing crimson shard is left, wedged into the crevice of her scalpel, something she must have accidentally missed. And you, dear viewer, must live with the mystery of her departure. Because here's the real question. Would you cut beneath your own skin to see the truth? And if you did, could you handle what lies underneath? Sleep well tonight, or don't.